How's it going, Fish fam? Welcome back to a brand new reaction. Today we're going to be checking out episodes 36 and 37 of One Piece. Now, when we last left off, we got a huge lore dump. Basically got most of Nami's backstory. I think based off of where we left off, we're probably going to be picking up with the second half of that story here, and then potentially getting into the big scene that everyone's sort of waiting for. I know this is sort of going to be a moment where a lot of people, when this show was first airing, probably got hooked on One Piece, or when they were first reading One Piece. I think one of the things that I saw a lot of people talk about was the fight with Mihawk and Zoro, and Nami asking Luffy for help. Those were the two biggest moments that I saw mentioned when people were like, what, really got them into One Piece, what made them sort of fall in love with the show and fall in love with the characters. I guess just from my perspective on the outside looking in, I just didn't anticipate it, at least not early on, being as character driven as it is. But yeah, I just wasn't expecting at least this introduction to be so heavily character focused as it is. But we're about to get to the point of basically no return from what I've been saying and what I've been told. We're about to hit the point where once I get here, if I like it, I will be a One Piece fan, and I just am going to be compelled to keep watching and watching and watching. With all that said, let's just get into it. Oh, so the town is actually going to try and help Belmere then. Alright, for someone who's so poor that she can only afford to eat tangerines for dinner, she is fucking chefing it up right now. No, they're not back, Belmere. So I'm interested in what this is gonna look like, because this is already a lot different than the setup was in the live action. Yep. Oh shit! She Sanji'd his ass, bro! And kicked him in the fucking head. Yo! Belmere the GOAT! I mean, she came out swinging. Jesus Christ, bro. Damn. Now shut the fuck up. Don't say anything. So this is already wildly different from the story that I'm familiar with then. Damn. Imagine being a grown-ass adult and having to tell a 6-year-old, alright, you gotta get on a little tugboat and sail your ass somewhere else. You gotta sail to a different island. Find your own way. Maybe you can become a tangerine farmer somewhere else on the globe. But it's not gonna be here. But she's doing it regardless. And then there's fucking Arlong just, alright, that's fine. We'll accept your terms. Like, I knew, obviously, what was going to happen just from being familiar with the live-action version of the show, but, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember anyone from, like, the village coming to help or anything like that, just because of the way it was done a little bit differently. I don't know, man. Like, it's just, like, so heartbreaking because there's very clearly, like, everyone who's a part of this small community, like, cares about each other so much, but they're all pretty much willing to, like, just more or less sacrifice themselves because there's, like, no chance that they, at least for some of them, they're, like, in their heads, there's a 50-50 shot they're dying, right? If they're standing up to all these pirates. But they're willing to just do that for someone who is a part of their community. And with an island like this, where it is such a small, like, village and it's so few people, I'm sure to a certain extent, like, everyone on that island is basically family, right? Yo, that's such a bad habit for her to have. That's so funny that, like, she's been basically, like, running the same type of cons since she was, like, a little kid. Yeah, and he's just fucking laughing about it. Yeah. Alright, well, that is the member of Arlong's crew that Zoro is going to completely fuck up. Am I right? Yeah, like, there's no way you can turn out any differently than she did, right? Like, of course you're, like, naturally going to not trust people, and of course you're naturally gonna be super self-reliant, you know? Because any person that you've relied on or asked for help in the past ended up just dying or getting hurt because of it, right? Yeah. So, like, everyone who's outside of the Grand Line just, like, get fucked, basically? Is that, like, the Navy motto? Like, if you're not directly within our line of sight, it's not happening? Because that kind of seems to be the case, more or less. Like, if we don't see it happening, fuck, bro, it's probably not happening, you know? Yep. She yadded up as a child, bro. She's in the gang now. She got jumped in as a 7-year-old. Jesus Christ, bro. Had she already, like, made the deal to, like, buy the island at this point, or? Because like, if that's the case, then it seems like something she'd be able to just, like, tell them, you know? Okay, so they were just like, well, we tried. It's gonna be too much effort now. It's like, at this point, it's like not worth the cost. Okay. Like, I could understand why as a child she would feel that way, for sure. But also, if she would have told that to anyone who wasn't a child, they would be like, yo, they're fucking lying to you. They're not gonna do that. Usopp gets it. Because it's like so similar to like what he was willing to do for the village. And for Kaya. Like to a pretty similar extent, I would say. They didn't actually leave, they're still there. The most unnecessary debate of all time. Should have been accumulating interest this whole time, building her portfolio. Just think, if she would have taken that first 1 million berries and then invested that in hiring OnlyFans models, then she could have started her own OnlyFans models marketing agency. That's the thing. That's the thing. Not like the Navy looking for Nami. The thing that Luffy focuses on is, yo, that guy has a pinwheel on his hat? What the fuck? That was the most Luffy moment in this whole show. Yeah, the setup, bro. I mean, I knew it was coming. We all knew what was gonna happen this episode, right? It's still just shitty to see it happening. It was a good thing that we had sort of that moment with the crew, because honestly, I forgot that Nojiko was like telling Usopp and Sanji Nami's backstory. I mean, Zoro was there too, but you know, he was napping, so he doesn't know any of Nami's backstory. Him and Luffy are like so similar in certain ways that it's just so funny. But yeah, like I said, we kind of got like the most Luffy of Luffy moments at the end of this episode, where despite there's clearly some fuckery afoot, he's just like, yeah, that guy's hat is kind of cold. But obviously, you know, like I mentioned, these next couple of episodes are storylines that I'm pretty familiar with just from I've already seen them, so I don't think there's a ton of info that I'm gonna add here. I'm just kind of excited to jump into the next one. So okay, so we're back to like the flashback. And of course, like, she took him at his word on that, because what other option does she have, really? Alright, so I think this is potentially going to be the first episode of One Piece that makes me cry, right? And for everyone out there, it's okay to cry on camera, okay? Don't bully me, I'm just a little guy. Damn! Immediately, bro. Immediately. She's like, alright, bet. I'm gonna stand on business then. Just like most governments in the real world, the government in One Piece is very corrupt. At least that's my understanding so far. Bro, I'm just gonna say it. These nameless NPC Marines are weak as shit. I wonder how long Gen has known that. Yeah, he's like, there's no fucking way. He just like immediately knew. He's like, there's no way that she would voluntarily just join those fucking pirates.
探してるわけじゃないんだぞ。1億ベリーだ。おい貴様、なぜ金額を知っている？ああ、1億。まあ、それくらいありそうな気が。
Not only is he a scumbag, but he's fucking stupid too. But it's like, it's okay that he's stupid because he has this position of authority. So he's allowed to just be a dumbass. I don't know if it's just because I live in the US or not, but I can definitely believe that the government would do that. I have no problem believing that. They're both holding her. No fucking way, dude. Huh? They were both holding him back from, or holding Nami back from starting a fight with the Navy. I mean, which she already kind of did, so I don't know that it would have mattered too much. And then Nojiko gets shot in the back. All of them. Fuck, dude. Everyone in the village fucking knew.
Nami. Yo, Nami. どうした？なんか手伝うか？まだここにいたの。いや、あんたには関係ない。さっさと島から出て。
No. You're on the crew, Nami. He's not gonna leave. Bro, Nami's voice actor is cooking this episode. Yo, this is such a small island. Dude, it's so crazy because despite the fact that she's been pushing him away and refusing his help all this time, all she has to do this one time is ask for help. But because of like all the shit she's been through, she is so unwilling to ask anyone for help that it's putting her in a much worse situation than she otherwise should be. Because the second she decides to ask for help, dude, all of these fucking fish people are getting their cheeks clapped by Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp. Like, that's it. All she has to do is ask for help. But I understand, like, why her past makes her so hesitant to do that. Bro, you're just gonna beat up the pirates to try and rizz her up. It's okay to do the right thing for the wrong reason sometimes. I really don't feel like there's a wrong reason to do the right thing, honestly. Like, if there's a reason good enough for you, then it is what it is, right? So basically, you know, fast forward 8 years later, they're still willing to do the same thing. They're still just willing to be like, all right, let's throw hands.
ミもう少しだけ待ってよ。私また頑張るから。
She just doesn't want them to fucking die. Yeah.
今度は慣れてるから。
She just doesn't want
何の心配もいらない。
the people who are
こんなこと
who she essentially thinks of as her family to die.
もう誰も知らないで。みんな、私は平気だから。
I know it's not like manga canon, but this scene reminds me so much of the scene with Shikamaru and his dad in Shippuden.
どきなさいナミ。
Shit!
行くぞみんな。勝てずとも俺たちの意地を見せてやる。
Like, at this point, they don't care. Like, they're just done. They don't have any hope anymore for, like, a different way out of that situation. I know I already said it, but bro, her voice actor this episode is going off.
Luffy. 何よ。何も知らないくせに。
He doesn't have to know. He's your friend. He doesn't care what happened.
ああ、知らねえ。
That's it, bro. That's what I said. That's all. Like, you just have to be willing to trust someone and ask them for help. Yeah, and they're all already there. They're like, all right, let's go. Ah.
行くぞ。
Yeah. Nah. Damn. Even the two that said they were gonna leave. Yeah. I mean, yo, what a way to leave off. I'm really excited going into this next set of episodes. I feel like we really haven't had enough like time in between, you know, what's happened with Sanji, what's been going on with Nami, to like really decompress a little bit emotionally, just because we've been getting so much emotional growth between like all of the characters in our crew in such a short amount of time. You know, even though everything is spread out over a number of episodes, it still feels like we've been like constantly going this whole time. So I think it'll be nice to kind of have these next few episodes to just sort of like turn my brain off a little bit and just watch people punch each other people. Like that'll be good for a few episodes. Like, that's all I need for a little bit, is just to see some punching, you know? I know I touched on it throughout this episode and the one previously, but like, this show does a much better job than I thought it was going to in terms of like the emotional character development and getting you emotionally invested into the characters that are shown to us. There are moments that get brought up pretty consistently that seem to be like the key moment for a lot of people that got them invested in watching One Piece, or got them like really hooked on One Piece. And I know for a lot of people, the two in like the early parts of the East Blue that kind of stick out are Zoro versus Mihawk, and then this episode with, you know, sort of Nami's emotional breakdown and eventually, you know, being able to ask Luffy for help when she's at like the end of her rope. This scene was that for me as well. Now, I don't necessarily mean the anime version of this. When I first saw this scene in the live action, it's what actually made me want to start watching One Piece. So despite the fact that I never saw the anime or read the mangas, I'm really glad that I watched the live action because it's sort of what prompted me to start this journey of watching the show as a whole. I'm kind of curious to find out, for you guys who are watching this, what sort of sticks out to you as that moment, like personally in your own like One Piece journey, where you saw that, where you read that panel and you decided, okay, like I'm sticking with this, like this is going to be a show, or this is going to be an anime that's I'm going to continue watching until the end, or a series I'm going to continue reading to the end. When did that really happen for you guys? With all that being said, don't forget to hit the subscription button down below. Make sure you tap the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new One Piece reaction video. And I'll see you guys on the next one.